Okay, thank you, my leader. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So I don't have slides with me. I am just going to say a few points. So before everything, I would like to thank you, Leader Helper, for giving me this opportunity and for making this possible for me to present today. And thank you everyone for joining in. So my name is Emilia Wilpard. I'm a registered nurse by profession, and I am doing forever part-time. And today I am going to talk more about my own story, but in between there, I will put some points that I have here. So I joined Forever this year in May. So this my my 7th month in the business, but from the beginning, I would say I never understood Forever very well. So ever since I joined, my aim was just to do 4CCs, CC. I never thought I could do better. This could be maybe because the person, like my upline, the person who brought me here is not active in the business. So I would say I've been on my own. And from June, July until August, all I knew about Forever was just that I need to keep my account 4CC active. I never know if I could do better. Also, I would want to appreciate Leader Tangi and Leader Vero for picking me up, because of course I almost gave up because my upline, my immediate upline is not active. Just immediately after I joined, I would say she quitted. Even my second upline is not active in the business. So I'm a third generation from Leader Tangi and fourth from Leader Vero. But I would say I thank them, because if it was not of them, I would have also have given up long time ago when my uplines quitted. But then they helped me understand my whys. And I've ever since I started engaging with them, I set my whys, and that helped me to pick up. So I've been having my whys as number one, I've been working since 2020, but ever since I started working, I never had that financial freedom. So that has been my number one why I joined the business. I wanted to make extra money just to have another additional stream of income to at least do things that I cannot afford with my own salary. Because I came from extended family, if you understand, because in extended families is just people don't even care if you meet your own needs. What happened is you get paid, everybody know that you work. So by the end of the month, everyone is just waiting that you give a granny how much, you give sisters and cousins how much. They don't care what you remain with. So I was like, okay, because now I'm working, and yet this salary, I just get paid today, then 2 days later or a day later, I'm already on zeros. And then I've been always trying. I tried a lot of businesses, and I failed. Yeah. And this time when I was introduced to Forever, now I understand. By engaging and learning, I learned Forever, and I found that there's potential for me to grow here. And yes, I can say that. So I can say that I've unlocked my gates to financial freedom. This is just the beginning. Yeah. So my second why is to explore the world, because as I speak, I'm 28 years old and I never went outside my country. I never traveled. I don't even own a passport. So and when we are in the world of, I would say, is it peer pressure or what? So when I started working, with my experience from my background, where I came from, now I had to start working where everyone came from a well-off family, and then all my colleagues who are this kind of people that like traveling, like every year they must go here to enjoy, they must go here and that, do this and that. But I could never afford to say, maybe, okay, people are going to Cape Town, they are going to Joburg, they are going where I must also try to contribute. I couldn't, because of where I came from. So I've always thought, and I've been thinking of, how do I do it? Because others are doing, because nobody expect them to pay for what, when they with month end, when they get paid. So, and then there's me here that waiting, everyone at home is waiting for my salary. So I've been always asking myself, how am I going also to at least just board, even to go to the nearest country? So I've been always thinking, and then comes Forever. So as I started understanding Forever, I started pushing, just rather than doing the 4 CCs, and then I started um, putting more work, just to make sure that, this incentive, the traveling incentives and everything, just to make sure that in the sooner future, I'll be able to achieve those ones, the traveling incentives. And my third why is to build a legacy that I can leave for my kid, or for my kids in the future. So I understand that's everybody's mommy, because if you are a mommy, you don't relax. You always think, okay, now one day if I'm not here, who will take care of my kids? And if there are mommies here, I'll just say, you made a great move joining Forever, honestly, that you'll be able to run this business. And when you are not able to do this anymore, it's guaranteed that your kids can take over. Like, you'll not be worried if one day you will not have a job, or your kids will not have jobs, or they will not make it in life to get where we are. So we know, if we push these businesses, our kids will definitely not worry much when we will not be able to do much for them. Yeah. My fourth why is peace and stability. I've experienced that when you don't have money, like you just got paid, and then the next day you are on zeros, obviously, definitely, there will be no peace, because you'll be there. There'll be still people that will be there coming through. Okay, they want help from you, but there's nothing you can do. And even yourself, you'll be just worried the whole month. Imagine you're on the third day of the month, and then you have to go to the 30th day of the month without any cent in your pocket. Can you imagine that? There will be no peace. So my why, I put this as my why, because as much as we push in this business, I know we'll make money, and money come with peace, of course. Yeah. Yeah. And my fourth why is health and wellness. Yeah. Well, we all understand that our products are the best. And yes, me being my very number one customer, I use my products. I do use my products, and I'm assured that yes, I'm healthy, I'm well, my family is so healthy and all that. Yeah. So as I said, um, since I joined this business in May, I've been just doing 4 cc's. That was just actually my aim. Like um, I never thought of, yes, I must push to qualify for this and that. And I would say maybe I almost gave up, because now I was using my uplines as an excuse. I said my two uplines, like the immediate one and the second one, are not in the business. I think there are times I thought maybe I must also quit. And then whenever I quit, I think of quitting, I wrote down my whys. Now, whenever I think of quitting, I always go back to my note, and then I'll read this to myself. And then I always ask myself, Emilia, if you quit, who is going to do this for you? And the answer is definitely that nobody. So I had to try. I have to try and work, despite me not having my uplines. And with time, I appreciate it, because I had there are a lot of good leaders there in the groups. And then my leader Tangi and leader Vero, they've been coaching me, and then I picked up. So, and then I decided I must do things right rather than just relaxing. So I started, um, um, when I joined, I had this list, in the first step to manager, there is this list we have to generate. We have to generate the list. But with me, when I joined, with the energy I have from the beginning, I wrote down that list. I wrote down, but I think I followed up maybe 20 people, and then I thought I've done enough. And then I've been sitting on this, so I abandoned that list. So I've been working just with a few that I tried to engage, and then later in beginning of September, yeah, I thought, let me start doing this for me. Let me start doing this for my child. Yeah, and then I pulled up. So I went back to that list. I even added up, I think I had 90 something on, yeah. But later on, I decided, okay, let me go back now to people that I can add. And then I generated that list. I started I started um, calling those people, like every day I must take 5 to 10 people to call, and then I always take note. I call, and then I take note of what we spoke about. Some I even send just SMSs depending on who, because I know my people. Because by generating this list, most of the people are from my contact details. So I know how to approach this one and how to approach, like that's how I understood it from the beginning. And I did it that way, because understand this one, if I call, we will understand each other better. And this one, if I send an SMS, and by sending an SMS, I look at my people. I use the language that my person understand. I'll draft that SMS and send just an SMS that will attract them, and then surely they'll get back to me. Or I'll make sure they read that one. If it's a text message, I make sure they read, and then I'll give them time before I do follow-ups. Yeah. Yeah, the list I've been following up, and most of the times, my main aim when I was doing this, of course, was to recruit. But as time went, like when I call, or I interact with this person, and then I see, they are not giving me a good energy. They are not giving me the vibe. So instead of continuing to talk about recruiting, them joining the business, I give them a break, just a break. And then I change my story to, okay, how about we start using this one? You know, I stop talking about recruiting, and then I start talking about the products, you know, so they support. And it worked for me. Yeah. So if you have a list like me, don't just focus. If you focus on one side, if you start talking to them about buying the product and they don't, maybe you just try. Don't give up on them. You just give them a break. It worked for me. With me, most of the people that I targeted for recruiting, they ended up becoming my customers. And I know them being my customers, whenever they buy products, I make sure I follow up on them. Just 3 days or 5, I'll start asking, hey, how is the product working for you? You know I'm trying to keep them. And also I keep them by when somebody buy products, more products, I always try to give them a present of what they did not buy. And most of the times I use these alu lips. For everyone that buys something, I at least more than $500, I give the alu lips. Or even when they buy more from me, I give that as a present, you know, because I just want, yeah, to keep up with them. And also I'm introducing them to the new products. I also started trying different things like you give, if they like these elderly ones, they buy the yellow bottle. So I start introducing them to the tooth gel. When they buy the bigger aloe vera gel, and then I'll be like, Cuckoo, take this one. And they like it. And I made more customers by doing so. Most of the cuckoos now, when they come, they don't only come for their yellow bottle, they also come asking for their tooth gel, you know, but it only started as a present. So it's always good that when your customers are supporting you, just try to give them a small present. And like for me, I chose the alu lips because I know I will not make a loss out of that. Yeah. And also one thing that worked for me is when I have products, the product that is really selling with me is the tooth gel. So I created a text message, like I drafted in different languages, like of people that are in my contacts. When I have stock, I always have stock anyway. I always have stock. I keep stock because I prefer. I've noticed most of my customers are these people, are cash buyers. They would not want you to say, yeah, if you want this one, I can order it for you. It take this long to come. They are actually not good at that. And they taught me just to at least keep stock of the products in demand. And I always do that. So like for the tooth gel, I have a text message that I always send now and then. I send whether on WhatsApp, whether offline, even to the elderly ones. I created one in my own language that they speak. And then when they see that, they say, please call. And then I always be excited, you know. Well, you know, when they say that, call me, you can already tell that they are excited and they are interested. So with the text messages is something that really worked for me. Yeah. Also one thing that I would want to say is also financial discipline. So like as for me, how I do my things. When I sell, I know I set boundaries that when this come from my own pocket is my money. When this one come from my business, is my business money, and I don't even mix that money, and I avoid using I avoid doing that. I always whenever I made a lot of sales, before I even overspend that money, because money is something else. I always place orders. I can even just place the for the minimum, which is 1,000 or something, if it's all I have at the time, just to avoid, the emergencies and everything. You would have that $1,000 saving it for your business, not eating it because you want to go somewhere. But there's always this sad story that come through, like a relative come with a story that you feel just sorry, and then you're like, okay, let me just give it away. But I've just started, and I told myself, okay, before these family emergencies, at least let me do something for the business, because this money is for my business and not for emergencies. And I also told myself, if my own money is done and there are some other stories to be done, I have just to wait until when I have my own money, rather than using this business money. You understand? Yeah. Um, One thing also that I would want to say to everyone that is listening to me is to never use others as your excuse. Like I did that. Like I almost relaxed and just to say, okay, because my upline is not in the business, because she's not active, I almost also gave up on my goals. And I'm just advising whoever listening to me that we should not use others as excuses to our own growth. We must always try to do what we said to do. We must always, if you say that I want to do this, don't let the situation that you find yourself in, don't let the next person do this, and then you use them for excuses. We must push. Okay. And also we need to let off fear of unknown. I've noticed, since I joined business, I could have gone far. Yeah, I could have gone far. I am a supervisor, a brand new supervisor though, for November. But I know, should I not fear just things that I don't know, I know I would be somewhere else, because I can tell the time I started picking up, I did it. And I told myself that, yes, I need to do this. And I did it. That's how I went to supervisor. And also, it also unlocked one of my whys of traveling the world, because I qualified by doing supervisor. I also qualified for the cruise ship. So for the very first time, I'll be going outside the country, I'll be boarding a plane and all that. So it also brought excitement, and it's also encouraging me to do more. So let's let off that fear. Because sometimes you want to do a presentation, you want to do this and that. I'll tell you that this is my very first meeting. I'm doing this my very first time. I'm talking like this ever since I joined the business. I only do this one-on-ones. I only do this. I never did this, so it's my very first time. But I never had a reason. It was just because I feared for no reason. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and another thing is just to remind everyone also, we came from different backgrounds, so we must never ever let where we came from um define who we want to be in future. Because most of the people come in the business, they just come in the business, and you understood from the beginning, and then you just come in the business, and then you think, this one is not working for me, without even you pushing. You are not pushing for your business, but you want it to work. And then we always say this, that, okay, if you look at everybody else in your family, you are like, nobody else does business. Maybe this one is not for our family. And we always tell us things when we want to make excuses, but I'll tell you that if you want something, you need to work for it. You need to stop making excuses, and we need to work. And also the other thing I would want to say, never compare your journey to the other person. Like forever, when we joined, I joined in May. I became a supervisor by November, but it doesn't mean that everybody need to do it that way. Everyone, we have different support system, we have different responsibilities, and also goals are different. There are a lot of things. So you don't set it that because Emilia did this, don't relax and let your story be like mine. You can do it your way, it will work your way. You understand? Okay. So I just want to I don't really have much here anymore. I just want to remind us that forever living opportunity is a holistic approach to success, because it's not just about being in the business. It's about well-being, it's about financial empowerment, and it's also about personal growth. So my advice to anybody else, if there are new FPOs or if there are guests that joined and they are willing to join, I just want to say that remember that you are not just if you just joined, you just did not join to start a business. You are entering a realm of possibilities where rewards are as boundless as your ambition. So take a leap and faith as we embark on this journey. With that, I end my session. Thank you, my leaders. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Leader Helsa.
Thank you so much, Leader